report, were you the autopsy, were you alone?
No.
Who was there with you? Just know what you're referring to your reports for the record.
Okay. So from our office, with me were Emmanuel Rodriguez. I cannot actually say the second part of his last name.
Okay,
Sorry. Colleen Greco and Billy Emerson. They were assisting me. And then representatives from New Jersey State Police were there as well.
Who were they?
Detective Sergeant Crane, Detective Hughes, and Trooper Filipino.
Okay. The pictures that were shown to you earlier, were they pictures taken by your office?
Yes,
Your office takes pictures on autopsy?
we do.
Okay. Did the detectives or anybody from the state police take pictures?
I don't remember, and I'm not sure.
That's fine. So, when a death occurs, and in all circumstances, do bodies get sent to the coroner?
So New Jersey is a medical examiner system,
Amen.
not a coroner system. But no, not all cases need to be reported, and not all cases that are reported are then accepted.
Okay. So how do they get reported and accepted? Can you explain that process to us a little bit?
Sure. So reportable deaths are deaths that occur not under the care of a physician, which pretty much means if you don't die in a hospital, you need to be reported to our office. But if an older person who has significant medical history, sees a doctor regularly, dies at home, that case would need to be reported, but it would not be accepted. Their physician could take care of the death certificate. Their family can handle the arrangements. We don't need to get involved.
Okay. So when a death is reported to you, normally you have some understanding there's something else going on here. Like it's not just, like you said, an older person who dies. There's something else going on.
So when anybody reporting the death, they just present the facts of the case, and
Okay.
then if it appears to be an unnatural death, a suspicious death, the death of someone who does not have a physician on record, or the death of somebody who just does not have a family to make arrangements, those would be cases that our office would accept.
So in this case, you were aware that there was something suspicious
Yes.
or out of the ordinary, right?
Yes.
During the course of the examination, did you have any conversations with the members of the state police?
I'm sure I did.
Do you remember if they, for lack of words, filled you in on what they believe happened in this case?
I think they told me their understanding of it at the time, but I remember it being very preliminary and not necessarily factual.
Concrete.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Also, during the course of your examination, is there any point is evidence retrieved?
Yes.
Do you know what evidence was retrieved during this?
Yes. So in this case, the evidence that we collected was the clothing, the brown paper bags that the hands were secured in. We also did nail clippings from the right and left hands. We took a DNA card, fingerprints. We took hair samples, and I did sort of a sexual assault kit. I did oral, vaginal, and rectal swabs.
Okay. No further questions.
Redirect. Thank you very much, ma'am. You are excused. Thank you.
Just need a moment, Judge. Thank you.
How you doing, sir? How you doing, sir? Raise your right hand for me, please.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
Gage and Oslin.
Sorry, last name, please, sir.
Oslin.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Have a seat. Your witness.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Oslin, where do you presently live?
Where I live at now?
Yeah, what town do you live
I live in Cedarville, New Jersey, 59. I live in Cedarville, New Jersey.
in? And where did you live just before living in Cedarville?
I was living in West Virginia. I moved back.
Okay, you said you moved back. Where did you live in New Jersey before?
7919 Henry Street, Lower Lake, New Jersey.
And how far is that from 7901?
Four
Where you
houses.
drive?
4 houses down. Exactly.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to just wait until we finish the question before you answer.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Do you know who lived at 7901 the same time that you did?
Tara and her children.
Do you know her children's names?
I know little Jeremiah. The little girl, I didn't know her name.
Mr. Oslin, when you lived over in Laurel Lake, did you have any pets?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of pets did you have?
I have pit bulls as my service dogs.
And would you take those dogs out for walks from time to time?
Yes, sir.
The night, specifically the night of December 18th of 2016, did you take your dogs out for a walk that night?
Yes, sir.
Who did you go with?
Me, my wife, my little girl, and my stepdaughter.
What is the route of travel that you take while you're walking your dog?
My route of travel is I come out of my house, I make a right, I go down to the corner. There's a little trail that cuts through to another side road. We make a left from there. We continue down to another stop sign, make a left. We walk down about maybe a mile, and then we make another left onto Terrace Road.
And that was Raymond Drive?
Yes, sir.
Would your route of travel take you past Tara's house?
Yes, sir.
The night of December 18th, did you follow that route when you were walking your dogs?
Yes, sir.
And you said your wife and 2 of your daughters were with you?
Yes, sir.
What did you see when you went by? Let me ask you this. Who did you see
I saw-
when you went by Tara's house?
I saw Jeremiah and I saw Tara outside.
Okay. Do you see Jeremiah in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir. He's right there.
What is he wearing, sir?
He has on the suit.
He's got the record reflect what he's identified.
Thank you. What were Tara and Jeremiah doing as you were walking by with your family?
Me and my wife was walking by. Jeremiah had Tara up against the corner of the house, telling her that
Objection. Your Honor, hearsay.
Whoa, have a state.
Could you indicate what Jeremiah was saying?
Jeremiah was calling her a whore, a bitch, a cunt, telling her that he knew that she was cheating on him, had other males coming to her house. Tara told him that she did not want
Objection.
to fight.
Hold on a second. Sustained.
Your Honor,
Victim state.
Your Honor, it's still hearsay at this point. She got a party.
So, Oslin, I'm going to show you a few photographs real quick.
Yes, sir.
So, Oslin, first let me ask you this. How often would you go by Tara's house when you walk your dogs?
Every day, 3 times a day.
So you're very familiar with that residence?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you S63. Do you recognize what's depicted there in S63?
Yes, sir. That's Tara's Explorer. That's Tara's house. That's the shed. There's a playhouse to the far back to the right corner. And that's the left side of the trailer where he was standing.
Okay, I'm going to show you that playhouse that you referenced. That's S67. You see that playhouse there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's the playhouse that would be in her yard and you're familiar with?
Yes, sir.
And now I'm going to show you S66. Is that also her trailer?
Yes, sir. Because right off the left side is going to the right side, the playhouse is there. That's where the children will play at.
Okay, if we could have the lights for a moment. Okay, Mr. Mr. Oslin, I'm going to show you up on the screen right here, which this is marked as S66. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where did you see Tara and the defendant?
Right there at the corner where the white and the green is, he had her pinned up against that corner or cut, telling her that she had other gentlemen coming to the house and everything. Tara was crying. Tara said she didn't want to fight.
Objection.
Saying, sir, you cannot tell us what Tara said. You may be able to tell us what the defendant said,
Okay.
not what Tara said.
All right.
So, Mr. Oslin, you described that she was up against the side of the house?
Yes, sir.
And how close was Jeremiah to her?
Up on top of her, pinned against the house.
And what, without saying what she was saying, how did she appear?
Very upset for him.
Thanks, you can take that down. We have lights back up, please. Mr. Oslin, had you ever seen Mr. Monell at the house before that night?
Yes, sir.
Had you ever had a chance to talk with Mr. Monell?
Yes, sir. I introduced myself when they first moved in as their neighbor. I was very nice, very polite, but Mr. Jeremiah here got very hostile.
And what made you believe that he was hostile?
Because right off the rip, when me and my wife introduced ourselves to the family as their neighbors, he accused.
Objection. Your Honor, can we approach?
You were describing your interaction with the defendant when you first introduced yourself. So could you continue with that? What was he saying to you?
After me and my wife had introduced ourselves, because that's how me and my family are. If anybody, any of our neighbors, we look out for one another. Okay. This gentleman here, after I stated my name, told him exactly where I lived at, he immediately started accusing me and my wife of flirting with his wife, and he started getting hostile, sir.
And what happened after you had that interaction with him like that?
Me and my wife walked home. I couldn't believe what just happened. I did not want to offend anybody, or I didn't have any impression that I was flirting with his wife. A few days later, she came down to my house crying and apologized. Just her.
Sustained that struck. Ladies and gentlemen, any statements that Tara allegedly made, I'm going to strike that, okay? So even though you heard it, you're not considered.
Okay. After that initial interaction and the later interaction that you observed on December 18th, did you have any other contact or talk with the defendant?
That morning, early that morning before nighttime when we went for a walk.
Well, I'm not asking you about
No.
anything else that you saw. I'm talking about you and the defendant. Did you talk with him at all? Okay. That's a no?
No, sir.
Okay. I've got very much. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Actually, I do remember one other question I could
Go
ask.
ahead.
Do you remember what time of year it was and what year it was when you introduced yourself to Tara and the defendant?
Yes, sir. At the beginning of August
Of what year?
of 2016, I believe.
Thank you.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
May I raise your right hand, please? Stand and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I do.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
Heather Gandy, Gandy.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a seat. Your witness, Ms. Westline.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, ma'am. Are you married?
Yes,
To whom are you married?
Gage Oslin,
In what town do you presently live?
Cedarville, New Jersey,
And where did you live just before coming to Cedarville?
at 7919 Henry Street in Laurel Lake.
Was there a time that you lived in Virginia?
Yes.
And when was that?
It was from roughly around January of 2016 to about August of this past year.
And I think you gave the address, but I forget what it was. What was the address that you lived at before going to Virginia?
7919 Henry Street in Laurel Lake, New Jersey.
And where was that in relation to 7901 Brandon Drive?
3 houses down on the opposite side of the road.
And did you know who lived at 7901 Brandon Drive?
Yes, Tara O'Shea.
And who else lived there with Tara?
Her 2 children, Sarah and Jeremiah Jr.
Does your husband have any dogs?
Yes.
How many does he have?
Well, currently, right now, we are down to 1, 3 of them of which have passed away.
Back in December of 2016, how many dogs did he have?
We had 4.
Would you help your husband in walking those dogs?
Yes.
I want to talk about the night of December 18th of 2016. Did you go out that night with your husband to walk some of the dogs?
Yes.
And do you have a specific route of travel that you usually take when you're walking?
Yes, we took our road, Henry Street, down towards Karen Drive, and we would circle around and come up to Spring Garden and circle back around. And we would come in front of Tara O'Shea's house and then back to ours.
How frequently or how often would you walk the dogs?
We walked our dogs at least twice a day.
Do you remember how many times you walked them on December 18th?
I walked them early in the morning, and I also walked them late that night.
When you walked them that night, did you take your usual route of travel?
Yes, but we did not go all the way down Karen Drive and to Spring Garden.
Did that route still take you past Tara's house on Raven Drive?
Yes.
Let me ask, who did you see outside of the house when you were walking by?
Tara was outside by the little jungle gym and the wooden fence in her side yard, and Jeremiah was in front of her, and they were in a verbal altercation, like an argument.
Who was Jeremiah?
Jeremiah Monell.
And who is he to Tara?
He is her children's father, and from what I was told by her husband.
You see Jeremiah in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Okay. Can you point him out to the jury and describe what he's wearing?
He's over there in a suit with a flag tie, striped.
The record is 75%.
Thank you, Jason. Could you describe in a little more detail what you saw going on between Tara and Jeremiah?
Tara looked very upset to me, like she was very teary-eyed, and her face was like really red. And we actually, Jeremiah was seeming to be like he was yelling at her, but because there was people walking by, he stopped yelling and was staring at us walking by.
Do you remember hearing anything that Jeremiah said to Tara?
We were on the road, so it was kind of a little bit far away, but I know that he had said something, you're not going anywhere.
Do you know what that was about?
She had spoken with me.
Objection.
What's the question?
I asked if she knew what he was talking about, and I believe she was about to give a hearsay response. So, yeah, just so you're aware, don't say anything that Tara told you, okay? I'll actually withdraw that question. Did you hear Jeremiah say anything else at that time to Tara?
No, just you're not going anywhere.
Do you recall the first time you met Jeremiah and Tara?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember when that was?
It was when they were, Tara and them just bought the trailer on the corner of Henry Street, and there was a slew of people breaking into other trailers out there, stealing copper pipes, and we just wanted to stop and introduce ourselves and let them know that because we noticed that their door was kicked in the night prior, and we saw somebody who shoot them out of their yard and called the police for somebody taking pipes out from under the trailer. So we wanted to introduce ourselves and let them know that we knew who it was. If they needed any information on them, we could point them out.
And what was the interaction like when you first talked with Tara and Jeremiah?
It just seemed like she was very, very friendly. He wasn't as friendly. He was just like bothered by us even being there, and he even tried to like be very hesitant of us even talking to them, as if like we were trying to take her from him, like a dog with a bone.
We have nothing else at this time. Thank you.
Cross-examination?
No questions, Your Honor.
Very well, then, you are excused.
Can you please approach real quick?
Yes. Today, okay? All right, we're going to see everybody on Tuesday morning. We're starting at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, okay? Take everybody back to this on Tuesday morning. See you then. Until that time, please remember all of the things I told you. Don't go looking anything up. Don't go looking for any articles, news articles, or anything else. Don't go searching for past articles or anything else that makes you think of this case. Go do research about individuals involved, or locations, the law, or anyone else involved in this case, including the attorneys and anybody else. And just that's what we're talking about. See you on Tuesday. Okay? Thank you very much.